Hey guys, BassGeek here, and we're going to do a review on a sub $100 reel from 13 Fishing, the Origin F1. Alright guys, so we got a reel sent to us by 13 Fishing. This is a sub $100 reel. We're going to put it in the category right around $50. It is retail on Tackle Warehouse for $69.99, so a $70 reel. So we're going to put it in that 50, give or take a few bucks, $50 reel area. That's what we're going to compare this reel to. For those of you that have not seen some of my new review series yet, we're not going to dig in. We're not going to dig in. We're going to do what I call the average angler review, okay? So we're going to take it out of the box. We're going to talk about what we see, what we feel, what we think about it right away, okay? Right away. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put it on a rod, we're going to take it out, and we're going to fish with it for a few weeks, maybe a couple, 3 months even. And we'll finish the review on the water and what we think about its performance actually out there doing work. Let's get to talking about the 13 Fishing Origin F1. As always, our very first, right out of the box, when we take it out of the box, the very first thing we think about is it light or is it heavy? This reel's heavy. Guys, I could throw this at someone and kill them. I've looked. I haven't been able to find what the frame is made of, but it's heavy. And it really feels like most of that is in the gears. When I hold it right here, I mean, whatever the gears are made of, it's heavy. Surprisingly heavy when you pick it up nowadays. So for me, I'm gonna slam this reel for its excessive weight. It says that it weighs pretty much 8 ounces on the side. So 8 ounces, I mean, that's pretty heavy in today's terms for kind of a standard bait casting reel. I'm going to give it 2 stars. I mean, 2 stars on the weight all day. But if you put this on a rod, it's really going to have to be a longer or heavier rod to really get good balance out of it. Let's move on to comfort. Comfort, it's really not bad. Like I said, it seems like most of the weight is here. It sets down on the rod pretty well. You'd say I've done spooled it up. But, again, I've got bigger hands. For somebody with smaller hands, because of the way it's squared off right here, they may not like it as much, but it is smooth. There's no edges, really, so it's pretty comfortable. I'll give it on the comfort factor for me. Like I said, I've got bigger hands. As you can see, I'm going to give it probably, we'll go ahead and give that a solid 4.5. Right? So now we start thinking, does it feel cheap or does it feel solid? Like I said, if I threw this at your head, I would kill you. So it definitely feels solid. The weight of it is a solid thing. Even the plastic, right here, no flex in that. It does feel solid. I mean, it feels solid made as far as that goes. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4.5 stars there. All right, tight or loose. Guys, with these, you're not going to get, that sub 100. Generally, you're going to get a lot of play. And there is a lot of play at every single part. I do really enjoy that. You don't have to worry about losing it, over the side. That's a nice feature. You shake it, you can just feel things in there moving around. So at this level, tight or loose, we'll give it 2.5 stars. We'll give it 2.5 stars. Probably better at most that I've tried at this level. Is it noisy? Is it quiet? And there's a lot of backwards play right there. Out of the box, it's not making a lot of noise. And I guess I'll give it a 3 for that. you know, again, in that $50 range, but, you know, there's a lot of movement in this reel. And again, at this price range, guys, you're going to get a lot of movement in every reel. They're not super machined. So again, not knocking this. Like I said, we're going to see how it stacks up against other reels in this level as we go on. Last but not least is aesthetics. What does it look like? I'm going to give it 2 stars on the look. I think it's a very dated look. The silver, the squared off. I like the way that feels on the side, but it's a very dated look to me. I'm going to give it 2 stars on the look, and it's probably getting most of that because of the way the side door pops off. I mean, honestly, that's just cool. So, you know, that I like. But that's going to be, you know, I like the handles. The handles are nice. I like the width of them. And that's probably the reason why it's going to get a little more. I'm not a big fan of the look of this reel. So that's my ratings out of the box. I'll see you all in a couple weeks to a couple months. We're going to see what we think about it on the water and finish this review off. All right, so let's talk about casting first. Casting, I'm going to separate from distance. Casting is how easily it casts, how you tweak it out, how well it holds the tweaks. You know, you do have to hit it here and there. You know, it's a sub $100 reel, so you're going to have to tweak it on occasion, and especially for those different weights. I've used it on everything from a 3/4. This is a 3/8 ounce jig head right here, but a 3/4 ounce blade bait. And it does seem to hold up pretty well so far. You'll have to tweak it here and there. But again, we're talking about a sub $100 reel, okay? So casting, you can actually hear it's pretty quiet. Now, most of the noise you heard right there was actually from the leader. I actually have, I don't have enough leader on this. I thought I put enough on there to not get to my backing. I was wrong, which brings me to the distance. You can see that's a 3/4 ounce, and it casts pretty daggone good. And I'll be honest with you, when you first get it out on the water, once you get it tweaked in, like when you first get it, you may not like the way it casts. It can be a little noisy at first, but once you get it tweaked in, and I think once it kind of starts moving and getting that oil and that grease spread out through the gears, I think it helps it out a lot. And I haven't added any to it, so I haven't greased it or oiled it. I haven't touched this thing. It's straight out of the box. So far, casting distance, really good. I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. So now I want to talk to you about retrieve, okay? And what am I talking about when I talk about retrieve? I'm talking about the noise. I'm talking about our gears grinding. Does it feel loose? Now, guys, you know I told you this reel is, you know, it's a little noisy, okay? But again, I want to state it's a sub 100. It's that $50-ish reel. So yeah, it's going to have a little bit of noise to it, but overall, it seems like, again, the more I cast it, I guess the more it's spreading the lubrication through it, the better it is. I'm going to give it a 3 on the retrieve. I'm going to give it a 3. Not that it's bad, but it's a little noisy right out of the box. But it does seem to get better. Now this thing, guys, it's heavy. You know, that's one of my big knocks on it. It's heavy. You know, kind of throws the balance out. But it's got 20 pound of drag, or so it says. So one of the things that I would do is I would definitely tighten it up. I'd use this, and I mean, I can't pull that drag. Now, I'm not telling you to go flip mats or super heavy cover with it, but the drag, as far as tightening it down, I'd probably use it on something that I just tightened it down completely. The other way is to pull it, and believe it or not, it's actually pretty smooth. So that is always kind of the negative on these reels. I would probably use it on techniques like this jig where I'm going to, or a worm. It'd make a great Texas rig reel. But I would use it on something where I'm not going to have to depend on drag that much, where I'm just going to set the hook, have me some heavier line on it, and drag whatever it is I'm fishing for to the boat. I'm going to give it, because it's when you just get it tightened down, it starts to lunge a little bit. I'm going to give it a 3. Now that's, included in that is that 3 stars is the brakes. Braking systems on the cheaper reels generally don't do very well, or they don't last very long. But so far, this does extremely well. And like I showed you before, one of the things that I do love about this is that it does have, so you're not going to have to worry about it popping out. It's only a magnetic, so it doesn't have the centrifugal. You can see there. I do really like that. So that's included in the 3 star. I'd probably give it 4 star on the drag and the brakes if it had a dual braking system. So that's hard to find in $50 reels. Most of them are magnetic. Believe it or not, I like magnetic better. All right, guys, so here is the grand totals right here of what we think about it. Listen, don't beat it up. This is the first one below that in that $50 price range, give or take 20 bucks, right? So this is the first reel we've done, and generally I'm going to rate these a little lower than I would say 100 or 150. They're not as good. The internals and everything else on this, I'm pretty impressed with it for the price range that it comes into. Like I said, I'd really like to know, so if anybody out there knows what this frame is made of, holding it in my hand, it felt like most of the weight is in the gear section. But I know I could throw it at my camera guy, Jeremy, right now, and it'd kill him. So it's a heavy reel. Even Jeremy said when he picked it up out of the box, he was like, oh, that's heavy. That's probably one of that and the aesthetics. It just looks so dated and so squared off, Yeah. And again, that's just me. You guys might love the way this thing looks. On the water is where it really shines. So, pick it up, check it out. It's a good reel for the money. Now, we'll show you at the end how it stacks up for other reels we've done reviews on in this section. Considering this is the first one, it's going to be number 1. So not a whole lot to look at there. We'll do more, and you guys leave suggestions down there of what reels in that $50 price range you'd like me to do reviews of. All that being said, questions and comments in the comment section below. Guys, like I always say, if you guys have used this, if you're in love or you hate it, whatever you think, if you've got one, tell me your quick review in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the Origin F1 by 13 Fishing. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell so you get the notifications when these come out. Tell me what you think about the review series. I'm calling it the Average Angler Review Series. We're not diving in super deep. We're just giving kind of skin deep impressions, right? Which I think most of us, that's kind of what we look at when we pick up a new rod or a new reel. As always, you guys rock.